Good afternoon. It is Friday, and this is another episode of Talking about Congo. And today we're going to be com- completing our discussion on motorcycles. Yesterday talked about motorcycles, how we use motorcycles in Kananga to get around and go out on trips, both for to look at projects and also just to get around town. So today I have a special that I'm going to be talking about actually using the motos like we saw in the example of the World Bank. And I will show you that again, where the World Bank and UNICEF bought motorcycles for the Congo government to help them in their uh, fight against COVID-19. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And so what I can do is I'm going to show you that. So for the ones who was not here yesterday, you can see that, and then you can kind of get an understanding of what prompted all this. This was when they were announcing the new COVID statistics, where they just had went up to 10,803 and 277 deaths. So it's still pretty low in the Congo. So here's the little clip from yesterday. Okay, so we're going to talk about that today, and I want to just give you a brief idea of what we're going to be talking about. Uh, is in this is a movie for about 3 minutes long. And back in 2009, when I was at the Bulape Health Center, Health Zone at the hospital there, the doctor decided he wanted to take me on a trip up to one of the some of the remote health clinics that were quite a bit of ways uh, from Bulape. And Bulape, give you an example, Bulape is about 120 miles north of Kananga, and it's a small village that the Presbyterians started a mission station there with a hospital and churches and schools. So uh, at first I thought we were gonna go by car, and he says no, we go by motorbike because you can't go there by car. So I thought that would be interesting. So and we're gonna go by motorbike. I go, okay, well that sounds good to me. And at that point in time, back in 2009, I had never even started driving motorcycles, and I don't even think I had ridden on a motorcycle that much. So it was just a whole new experience. So we took about a 3-day trip to go up to some of the health clinics that's located far away, and I found out why we had to go on motorbikes, and hopefully you'll get an understanding of why we had to go by motorbikes after uh, watching this episode here, this clip here. So uh, let's go ahead and get that started. Let's see. Let me just check to see if anybody's on. I think Frank was going to try to be on, so I hope he's on. Frank, I hope you're there. But anyway, you can catch the replay. If not, and maybe I'll come on when if you do a replay at a later time. So stand by. Here we go with it's about a 3-minute clip with a little bit of narration on it and with all the natural sounds. This trip was in 2009.
This trip was in 2009, and I want you to see we're going from a rural establishment out to the real bush. Things was going really good. That's me as we left the hospital till we got to the first center. Got there pretty fast, and I thought things were okay until I saw the river. And once we got to the river, I thought, how are we going to get across that? But immediately I saw that there was a way to get across the river. After we made it across the river, we unloaded and then we started. Sometimes the motorbikes didn't want to act right. And finally, we had a flat tire, so we had to stop and repair the tire. Then we got to our first site. They had signs up welcoming us. The doctor went in and did his review of the health center, met by the village chief, went to another health center, more chiefs and leaders. And then this was the final health center that we went to. Then we started back. It's kind of windy and I'm just hanging on for dear life. The other two motorbikes are ahead of us, and we ran out of gas, and so we had to walk for probably about 30 minutes till we came to a house. Then they came back and brought us some gas. We made a final stop at another rest place. Got all our stuff back tied together. People came out to visit us, and we proceeded on packing up stuff again. But it was a good rest, and it was a good end to a trip. I appreciated it.
So that was the trip to, it was all the way up from Bulape, all the way up to the Sankuru River, and that's where the health zone goes. As I said about a health zone, it they kind of build it based upon 100,000 people, and so that could be if you're in a rural area, that could be a long distances away from the hospital, and they have about 28 to 30 clinics that serve the people out in these remote areas. And like I say, it took us a whole day to get to the uh, the clinic out there. So if there was somebody who was really sick and needed to go to the hospital, it would take them a day of riding on a motorcycle if that wouldn't kill them, or they would, maybe come in on a stretcher by people toting them or something like that. But it would still be a long distance for them to get in to the hospital. So that is what motorbikes are used for. As you see, we had to cross a river, and the roads were really narrow. There was no way that we could have went up there by a vehicle, and so I did not. I thought, why we going on motorbikes? I just couldn't think of a place that you would go where you can only go by motorcycles. But once I did that, I found out there's quite most of the places they are like that. That the remote places, and we've worked on clinics that was you could only get there by uh, like this one, and these were even new clinics that was like that. So that's the problem in the Congo. They don't have a lot of roads, and so you have to use motorbikes, and those motorbikes are really something. Now, this is a picture from 19, it was earlier, and it was the doctors were meeting. So let me show you what, hopefully you're looking at a picture of a bunch of motorbikes that came in for a day conference. And so all the people from the clinic was coming in to go to the this meeting. So that's kind of what what I wanted to show you today, that motorcycles are an integral part of meeting the needs in a rural health zone. And I'd like to thank everybody for coming in. And I have a couple of questions at this time. Frank, with his group, Frank, my friend from church, and he is online with a group in a watch party. And he says, wow. Frank is saying, wow, you know, and he said, and he's got his watch party going on, and he's with some of his friends, and he's telling them what we're doing and everything. So thank you, Frank, and thank you all of the people for doing it. And then I also have my good friend Don Henley. Uh, he says he says I was on a wild ride. Yeah, it was a wild ride, and it was something that I had never uh, imagined that, but it gave me a good experience of what was going on out there in the real bush, located far distance away from the hospital and everything. So, Frank, if any of your people have a question, I can answer that. Don, if you got a question, I will answer your question since we're on the line here. And but I appreciate you guys and everybody coming by uh, to see this, and that's what life is all about in the Congo. Okay, we don't see any questions coming in, but you can always drop those in later, and I'll address them on another day. Thank you again for coming by, and we will see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So as always, take care of yourself and take care of your family. Be safe and be blessed, and wear your mask. I know we here in Indiana, we are going up in number of cases. So take care now.
This trip was in 2009, and I want you to see we're going from a rural